gradually have to work out of doing everything yourself and accept that other people may do things not as perfect as you do. And if you want to be perfect, you want to have everything perfect, it's kind of like the same as saving up cash to buy a property 100% cash. If you're trying to use your own time 100% and talents and so on, you're going to go slow because you won't be able to scale, as they say.
Yeah. It's a good analogy. I like how you put that. So learn how to leverage your time and how to get others to do things. Even, I've heard like 80% done by someone else is better than 100% done by you, right? Mm-hmm. So having that mindset of training and building leaders and delegating work, that's good. What's the secret to delegating for you? What have you found that's the best way for you to do that?
Well, let's say we're talking about using contractors. Contractors need to be vetted just the same as you would vet tenants.
Hey, welcome to the Build As Billions podcast, where we guide successful entrepreneurs and investors on their journey from millions to billions. We bring on entrepreneurs, investors, and they share their secrets and wisdom with us so we can all scale up and make a bigger impact. My name is Brett Swartz, and I'm excited about our guest today. He's out of the great state of Pennsylvania, and he's got a book to share with us today, in which we're going to dive into knowing about how to build real estate wealth and enjoy the journey of rental property investment. Please welcome to the show with me, Mr. Joel Miller. Joel, how are we doing?
Brett, thanks so much for having me. And I think the title of my book goes along with the title of your podcast. You're building it to billions, and I'm talking about building real estate wealth. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Yeah. Let's dive right into a little bit of your story and your focus. So maybe you can just tell briefly your story and a little bit of your focus right now.
Well, I can tell you that I actually had an inclination to start into real estate all the way back in junior high, because they built some townhouses on my paper route at the edge of our subdivision, and I kind of did the math and said, I think I want to do that someday. I kind of put that in my back pocket and went to school for accounting after also deciding I wanted to be a disc jockey, because one of the older kids in the neighborhood built a pirate, which is illegal, unlicensed, radio station in the basement of his house with a flagpole for an antenna. So I actually got a degree in accounting, started a small accounting practice, but I worked in radio through high school and college, and then pioneered the mobile DJ business in this part of the country in 1976 was my first one that I did, but I did that for 35 years, 5,051 appearances, and retired from that 15 years ago. But I bought my first rental property not long after I left the radio station to do the mobile work back in 48 years ago, 1978, and started building a portfolio while simultaneously operating my DJ business, which is part of what the book is about. Build real estate wealth, enjoy the journey of rental property investment. A lot of people don't set themselves up to enjoy it, but the book is about adding real estate to something that you don't want to give up. Like I wanted to be an entertainer, and I did that for a lot of years, and a lot of people have a passion for something else, a job, a career, a hobby. It takes all their time, but they need to build their income in addition to what they have from something that they're interested in. Maybe it doesn't pay a lot, and they need to build their retirement.
Got it. Let's dive right into it, right? This is good. By the way, if you want to learn more, go to joemillerbooks.com, joelmillerbooks.com, to pick up the big book on income properties, build real estate wealth, enjoy the journey of rental property investment. So what is the number one secret to building real estate wealth?
Patience. I think you would agree. If sometimes when you do things too fast, you don't do them well, and you might take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But you've got to get in the right mindset before you start investing. You got to have your team in place, and the entity if you're going to invest in an entity. And actually, the first part of my book covers that. A lot of books in this genre just talk about how to acquire property, how to have it, how to get rid of it. But we start a little sooner than that, talking about the mindset and building the team, and then follow that with the latter part of the book is about best practices that you can put to use in your life and your business. And a discussion of the difference between riches and wealth, which I think it's not the same thing. Riches
What
is
is the difference
having the
between
money.
riches and wealth, Joel?
Well, let's say that it's sort of similar to the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is when you just simply have the facts, but wisdom is knowing how to apply the facts to do the right things. And with riches and wealth, riches is simply having the money, and wealth is being able to enjoy it and do the right things, with the money. I've often been asked, or it's been led to the point in a conversation or a talk that I'm doing where what I make is a statement that says if I had a choice of losing all my money or losing all my relationships, I would lose all my money in a heartbeat, because my relationships would help me get my money back. And if I had a lot of money and nobody to share with, that would be pretty empty, So that's not wealth,
It's good. Okay, let's keep going here, Joel. What's the next secret to building real estate wealth? We got patience and mindset and team. What's the next kind of a secret here?
Understanding OPM. Real estate runs on OPM. I mean, investing real estate runs on OPM, which stands for other people's money. I think you have to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Let's call it that. Bad debt would be like borrowing money to go on a vacation. It's over and now you still owe the money, or buying something that's a depreciating asset. Now, I get it's generally proper to buy a car, say, with a loan, because you're going to utilize your car to have your life. Maybe you go to your job and make your money, or go to your business and so on. But the difference would be between good debt and bad debt, as far as things that create money for you by using the leverage. If you use leverage, if you use OPM to own income producing property, then you can build your wealth. If you think that you're going to go about this with no debt and save up all your money and then pay 100%, no, all cash for income properties, you're going to go really slow. It's not going to build much at all. So you have to start understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt, and get over any aversion that you might have for having debt. Once you understand that difference, so that you can be open to using debt to leverage into properties. So.
Excellent. We're speaking with Joel Miller, everybody. JoelMillerBooks.com, JoelMillerBooks.com. You pick up his new book. Okay, good. That makes sense. What's the next secret or step or principle to building, wealth in real estate?
Well, you have to get to the point where you need to be able to leverage your time and not just your money. And by that, I mean having other people do things for you. You gradually have to work out of doing everything yourself, and accept that other people may do things not as perfect as you do. And if you want to be perfect, you want to have everything perfect, it's kind of like the same as saving up cash to buy property 100% cash. If you're trying to use your own time 100% and talents and so on, you're going to go slow, because you won't be able to scale, as they say, without.
Yeah. It's a good analogy. I like how you put that.
Yeah.
So learn how to leverage your time and how to get others to do things. Even, I've heard like 80% done by someone else is better than 100% done by you, right? Mm-hmm. So having that mindset of training and building leaders and delegating work, that's good. What's the secret to delegating for you? What have you found that's the best way for you to do that?
Well, let's say we're talking about using contractors. Contractors need to be vetted just the same as you would vet tenants. You don't just let any tenant move into your properties, so you do some screening. Well, the same thing would be true to for your team. Not only for contractors that actually work on the properties, but people that are ancillary to the whole thing, like accountants, lawyers, people that never go to your properties, but you have to rely on them to do certain work for you. And you need to get skilled at selecting the people that are on your team. Let's just stop here and tell you. I want to tell you, I'm a big proponent of getting involved with whatever local organization you have in your area of other like-minded people that are investing in real estate, or it's a landlord association or an investors association. A lot of times they're called RIAs, Real Estate Investors Association. Get involved. Rub elbows with the people that are doing the same thing you're doing, or that have done it, or that want to do it, and sit at the tables with them. At the dinners that they have, and the instruction sessions, hopefully, that they have. My book is great. If you're involved in an organization like that, and you want to teach your members, you don't have to write your own course like our organization did 10 years ago, and it's called Landlord 101, and I'm one of the main instructors of that. But one of our longtime founding members wrote that. You don't even need to write that. Just use my book as a textbook, and make sure all your students have a copy, and just teach right out of it. Select what you want to talk about. It's a textbook right there. But having said that, it's your association with the other people that would be in that organization that'll help you find the other team members that you want. It doesn't take much for the word to get around about who to use, who not to use, for different areas of contracting, and build that team. You got to build that team continually, because those people are not going to be the same people you have for your whole real estate career. They're going to come in just like tenants. They're going to come in, they're going to leave. Contractors are going to drop off, and you'll have to have different ones. So always be building your list. Be 3 or 4 deep in almost any trade, say. That would be what you would use if somebody that like your main guy goes out of business, or has a life event and goes away. Yes, that's the case. You move on to the next guy, but it's also the case where maybe your main guy isn't available. So you got to know who to go to next if you got an emergency, especially. So.
Excellent, Joel Miller. This is good wisdom, good insight, right? Get that. You want to get the starting 5. You want to get the bench players, right? And hopefully they're like the 6th man of the year. They can come in strong.
Yeah.
What if someone gets the book? Is there like a deal story, or like a inspirational story in there that you'd like to share that's in the book?
Well, I have my own backstory in there, where I do talk about developing the 2 businesses side by side. The entertainment business and the rental property business, till I get to the point where I actually started flipping houses in 1991. Flipped over 100 houses since then, and then 2018 became a hard money lender to the other investors in our area, which gives me great satisfaction to be part of their equation, for what they're trying to do. And because I've done all these sort of projects that they come to me with, I can bring a lot of knowledge to the table to them, and I'm not just a guy with money and they have to figure it all out. I go look at these houses with them before I decide to lend to them, and sometimes after the walkthrough they decide they're absolutely sure they don't want to buy that house, after I ask them questions and so on. But as an inspirational story, though, what I will give you, it's not in the book, I'll go back to tell you that I started writing the book in COVID time, like in 2020. It took about 4 years to get it all written and published and all that. And when I was starting to write it, it became apparent that my then middle teenage son was getting interested in real estate. So I kind of wrote the book as though he might be the only one who would ever read it. In other words, there's no BS in here. There's nothing in here that I haven't done, or that I wouldn't tell my own son to do. I'm not telling you to do anything that I wouldn't do if I had the opportunity, or I haven't done, or that I wouldn't tell my son. So he actually bought his first rental property a week after graduating from high school, June 2024. And then he bought another one about a year later, a little less than a year later. And as we are recording this, I can tell you that he has signed a deal and is waiting for the closing on his very first flip property.
All right, way to
So
go.
yeah, so that's part. And so why is he doing a flip? Thought he was running rentals. Well, um, he needs to do some things to get some chunks of money to buy more rentals. And in particular, we kind of have an exit strategy my wife and I do for him taking over the properties that we have when he gets out of college. He's now a sophomore in the business department at Penn State at the branch campus that's here in Erie, Pennsylvania, where I live. Very highly rated business department, and he needs to be in our town to manage his property, of course. But the plan is for him to take over all of our stuff in 2 or 3 years after he gets out of college with his finance degree. And but I'm not giving them to him. You know what I'm saying? He's, I mean, we're going to carry the terms or carry the paper, give him terms because they'll be all
Mm-hmm.
paid for, and that's the whole plan is that
Mm-hmm.
he'll have to have a small down payment and so on, and but we'll be getting a check from our kid every month. Wouldn't that be great? Instead of you giving your kid a check every month, have your kid give you a check.
I
So,
love that. I
so
love
that's the
that.
plan.
Yeah.
But so if you asked him right now, he would tell you he's a finance major, but he's going to college to learn how to not have a job. He's not
Yes.
studying finance to go to work as an analyst for some stockbroker
Right.
or something like that. He will hopefully never have a job, and just start building it to billions, on his own there.
I love it. I think that's a great mindset shift, right? Go to college so that you don't have to have a job, right? You learn and can grow in different ways and be creative while you're there with real estate flips and different investments
Yeah,
so that you don't have to have a job. Now, you still could get a job. That could be your calling and your purpose, and
yeah,
you can enjoy that, but you don't have to get I think, yeah, too many people probably settle for that first offer, that first opportunity. It's not really in their calling or their real purpose or their passion. And all of a sudden they're like, and they spend years there and they go, what am I doing? Right. So I think that's a real important mindset change. We homeschool our kids, Joel, and that's part of one of our core values is to help them discover and deepen their calling, purpose, and the passion and strengths in their lives, and then pour into that piece of it. Right. Not everyone's
yeah,
made to be a doctor or an engineer or an attorney or, play basketball, play tennis, play golf. Like these are all different things, different
right.
passions, different strengths.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for that. We are running out of time, Joel. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Sure.
All right. Knowing what you know now, if you could go back to your 20-year-old self, what's the one gold nugget? Make sure to tell yourself to do.
Think bigger. Just have more confidence and think bigger and bite off a little more than I actually did each time, and it's because you got to get over the fear, you know. So,
Excellent. Question number two. What's the number one book besides your book that you've recommended the most in the past year?
oh, okay. I'm gonna grab it here. Hold on. And I might have showed you this before, but
I don't know.
yeah, this is Napoleon Hill, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Napoleon Hill also wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, and this is an old book. I think let's see, my copyright is 1967.
Okay.
And
Excellent. That was out before or
Napoleon
after his Think and
Hill
Grow
was a
Rich?
guy that interviewed for years, very top successful people, that the industrialists that we would all know from the early 1900s and so on, and his writings all and his speaking deal with condensing the information that he learned from talking to people that did it.
I love it. What is that before or after Think and Grow Rich, that book? I'm curious.
I believe this was his follow-up to Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't even realize. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good to know. I'd love to check
yeah.
that one out. That's cool. Excellent. Next question. What are you most curious about right now?
I am most curious about the direction of property values and rents, as because we still have our rentals right now, and real estate, of course, as you know, is very localized, to a
Yep.
large extent, so you need to be able to not only follow national trends, but be aware of what's going on in your area. And right now, I think our area, and this is why I've got to watch it, I think we are at the plateau level for the increases in rents and possibly also with property values coming out of the upswings in COVID.
Okay, excellent. Last question. It's really the heart of the show, which is practicing a mindset of stewardship over ownership. How do you best practice that on a daily basis, Joel?
Stewardship over ownership, you saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to spend time on your business and not just in your business. So that has to do with learning to leverage your money and leverage your time using other people, so that you're not in the trenches as much, and you have to steward people as much as you need to steward property.
Mm-hmm.
People need care, property needs care. You could care about the people that take care of your property. You could
Mm-hmm.
and get them on board, figure out ways to incentivize them, so that
Mm-hmm.
they perform well and you can hold on to them.
Excellent. Joel Miller, I want to thank you on the show. I want to thank you for helping people to build real estate in a smart way, an effective way. They can enjoy the journey. For our listeners who want to get in touch with you, one last time, what's the best place for them to find you?
Well, you can always contact me through the contact page on joelmillerbooks.com. That will, if you enter something there and push send, that will come right to my email. But you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn with my name and some mention of real estate or build real estate wealth, something like that. So.
Perfect. Joel Miller, thank you so much. And also want to thank all of our listeners and viewers for being a part of the Build It to Billions podcast, also streaming on Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast and YouTube channels. And we're on this journey with you to scale it from millions to billions so we get more all the way to help MVPs. My name is Brett Source. I want to encourage you to take action today. And if you have a large exit of $1 million plus business, real estate, Bitcoin, stock, and you're looking at huge capital gains taxes, I want to help you build a capital gains tax exit plan so you can defer that tax and you can multiply your freedom and impact. Just go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. It's capitalgainstaxsolutions.com, and or check out the book, Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan. You can find that on Amazon, called Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan. Appreciate everyone listening or watching out there, and we'll talk to you all real soon. Bye now.